So I wanted to talk today about our favorite tools that we bring with us on our trips. And I'm going to go from, the things that we always use all the way up to my new favorite tool. So if you want to skip ahead to the end and see what that is, you can go ahead and do that now. So basically we have, a few tools that we make sure that we bring with us on every camping trip. And the first one is a rubber mallet. It's a cheap rubber mallet from the hardware section. This one from Canadian Tire, but you can go get it pretty much anywhere. You want to use a rubber mallet when you're putting in pegs, and it's better than using a rock or using a piece of wood or something like that. You can see it wears out. Eventually we'll have to replace this, but a rock will break your pegs. We actually use some nice aluminum pegs that are super light. You could take them on backpacking trips. They go into the ground really easily. We used to use those cheap pegs that came with tents and stuff like that. They're just like a metal, thin metal piece. They do not go into the ground very well, or they bend, and they're basically useless. So we replaced them with the aluminum pegs, and you can get lots of different brands, but pretty much all of them, if you start trying to bang them in with a rock, they're gonna break. So you don't want to do that. You can maybe use a piece of wood, but you don't know if you're going to be able to find a good piece of wood when you get somewhere. So that's why we bring the rubber mallet. The other thing we use is 9-inch nails. I don't know what the actual length is, but they're big steel nails that you get from the hardware section. They're 50 cents. They're cheaper than the pegs. Those things are great. You can use that. Put those in with the rubber mallet as well, and they just go right into the ground. It's awesome. They're a little bit heavier. You don't want to take those on a backpacking trip, but if you are in a car, absolutely bring pegs like that, or bring nails instead of pegs. They'll go into the ground anywhere. The next tool is a hatchet. You'll want this for splitting wood. If you're going to make a fire, burning logs, that tends not to work very well when you have a piece of wood with an aged bark outside. It doesn't usually light on fire very well. So it's nice to be able to split your wood and to be able to get a good fire going. Don't be fooled by going to the camping section and buying the cheap hatchet that has a wood handle. They will break. The handle will break right at the head, and it's happens every time for me. Went and got this steel hatchet, and it's the same price. It's a Jobmate steel hatchet, and it's a little bit heavier because it's got the steel handle, but this thing will last through all your camping trips, and it sharpens well. This one needs to be sharpened right now, but it has a good grip on it. It has the right shaped handle, unlike the cheap wooden ones. Yeah, absolutely. Get a hatchet, split your wood with that, and you'll be a lot happier if you don't get the cheap one. Or, well, honestly, this is cheap anyway, so it's kind of just silly to go get the camping, like whatever Coghlan's or whatever hatchet. Yeah, so that's that one. And the last one is something that we just got recently. We've done a lot of camping trips without it, and I just basically decided that it was time to change it up, and that is getting a folding saw. So we used to try and cut our logs, like a piece, if we found wood in the forest or whatever, you try and cut it with a hatchet. It takes forever trying to cut across a piece of wood. Hatchets are made for splitting wood. They're not made for cutting logs. But this razor tooth saw is gonna change everything for that. You can cut pieces of wood up to, well, this one says up to 4 or 5 inches, I think. And I've probably done even 6-inch round pieces of wood, and it cuts through faster than like any saw I've ever used. This is an inexpensive one, and I'm super happy with it. It's a Corona brand. I got it off of Amazon. I wasn't sure what I was going to be getting, but the reviews were really good, and it turns out this is my number one tool now. I regret not having gotten one earlier. It will cut through the wood so fast and with so little effort. You'll be thinking, like, why would somebody use a chainsaw? It's really amazing, and it folds up to this like really small size, fits in with our other tools. Like, basically it's just a handle, so these three things fit into the side pocket on our car with no problem. And this is super light. You could take this backpacking. I would absolutely think this would be worth the wait if you're going to be going into the backwoods and needing to make fires and stuff. My only complaint about it, and you can see here, I've done my own little trick to fix it, is there's no blade guard. So when you fold up this saw and you're storing it, it's got this gap here, and these are super sharp. Like, they will catch on you, they will cut you, and so this thing absolutely needs a guard. So I just made one. I basically made this out of ugu, which is like homemade sugru, which you can look up online how to make that. And then I just, created this thin little blade guard that it's not perfect. It actually needs some work. I think I would wish it was a little bit stronger, a little bit stiffer, but when this is folded up, it just covers the teeth so that you're not gonna snag on anything, or you're not gonna cut yourself. So yeah, so that's our three tools that we absolutely want to bring on every trip.